some bright lights over here. So pay close attention to the lights on the road because the bending was pretty obvious last time. And again, I'm just walking along. The rock steady feature works really good, but I'm not fond of that bending that I saw last time. I think it's still happening at bright light. Super weird. So I'm gonna turn off rock steady, put the camera at 30 frames per second, see if something happens. So with rock steady off at 30 frames per second, just keep an eye on the floor. And of course, now it's gonna record every of my footsteps. I think it has something to do with that rock steady stuff. Because like on the screen, I don't really see it now. So I'm gonna walk again into the bright lights because that's where the problem happens. So it's in the bright light. Try to see if there's bending on the road, and I'm gonna keep the frame rate at 60. And then we're gonna do another recording and see if the problem persists. So I think I kind of figured out what's happening. At 60 frames per second, the camera is just doing this weird flickering thing. I'm not sure if my camera is defective, because look at 60 frames per second. Like, I can even see this flickering on my screen, which is crazy. I think my camera's defective. Also, my camera came with one dead pixel, like somewhere in the center of the screen on the back, which kind of sucks. So definitely the camera have problems with 60 frames per second recording. That sucks. I think I'm gonna return this camera, get a replacement, and see if the problem persists. So this is 60 frames per second, rock steady, off, and I think it's only happening on 60 frames per second, so that's pretty weird. Okay, I'm gonna change it to 2K, see if the problem still is here. Now it's recording at 2K, 60 frames per second. I don't see the bending, I don't see the flickering, and so let's see what's going on. So I'm changing back to 60 frames per second, and that weird bending just reappeared. Super weird. Alright, I'm gonna go back and do a conclusion video.
Okay guys, so as you can see from my previous videos that I think my Osmo Action from DJI is actually defective because it shows significant amount of bending and color flickering issue when recording at 4K at 60 frames per second, regardless of the rock steady setting. So basically, if I leave the camera at 4K at 60 frames per second, that flickering just appears, regardless of a bright scene or a slightly darker scene. So at the very beginning, I thought this was because of the shutter was constantly changing, thus causing that kind of a bending issue. But I found out that this issue actually does not exist in other settings and other resolutions. So which leads me into the conclusion that I think my DJI Osmo is actually defective. I am gonna return my camera at this point. There's no need for me to hold on to this camera to do further tests because image quality is not acceptable to me at 4K at 60 frames per second. I haven't heard anybody having issues with the GoPro 7 Black, which costs the same price and I think is universally recognized as probably the best action camera out there. I really had high hopes for the DJI Osmo Action. I thought it's gonna be a GoPro killer. In the end, it's not, and I'm gonna return this and probably get a GoPro at this time. So feel free to let me know in the comment section. Again, thank you so much for watching at this video. I hope this helps explain why I returned my DJI Osmo to help you guys make a better decision on which action camera to get. So comments, questions, leave it down below. Thanks again, and hope to see you in my next video. Take care.